Hi, this is Emily Leiphart of Art from the Heart, and in this video I'm sharing a card made with the Perfect Blend stamp and die set from Neat Tangled. This is a large 6x8 stamp set, and it's perfect for everyone who loves coffee and other hot and cold beverages. The little ice cube could be used as marshmallows, and the cocoa beans could be used as tapioca and bubble tea as well. The sentiments cover a wide range of occasions from friendship to love and Valentine's Day. I love that there are both outline stamps and solid filler stamps for those who might not want to color. I'm going to create a background using the 3 latte art stamps. I love that May illustrated this set with a variety of latte art. If you're both a cat and coffee lover, then this set is a must-have. This front panel is 1/4 inch smaller than its A2 card base. Originally, I imagined a 3x3 grid, but once I added the sentiment, I decided to make it a 2x3 grid. When I'm satisfied with the position of the latte art, I can start stamping. I'm using 3 colors of ombre inks in the order shown. I start with the pinks, and since I'm using the Misty stamping tool, I can double stamp in the exact same spot to get a more solid inking. I used to use baby wipes, but I found it was quite wasteful, and I would get little fibers no matter which brand I used. Then I was introduced to this absorber towel. It's the best thing ever and really wipes stamps clean with just water. I'm repeating the same process for the orange and purple ombre inks, but varying the latte art pieces so I'm not using the same ones in all 3 rows. I use VersaFine Onyx black ink to stamp the sentiment because it's the best black ink for superfine lines, like the ones you often see on detailed sentiments. Now my background is finished and I can set it aside to work on the focal points. I've put a Ranger craft sheet down because I'll be using distress inks to watercolor the takeout cups, but first I'm going to stamp them with archival jet black ink. I select distress inks that coordinate with the ombre inks I used for my background. I usually keep a written list of supplies as I'm using them, but when there are too many colors to write down, it's easier to take a photo of the names and then refer back to them when I'm creating my supply list. I used to have the larger distress ink pads, but I recently converted to the small ones because they don't take up as much room when I'm smooshing the inks on the craft sheet. I basically use 2 shades of each color to create tricolored cups that coordinate with the ombre background. This is very simple watercoloring. I didn't want to wait for the cardstock to air dry, so I used my heat tool to speed up the process. Now I can position the die, hold it in place with washi tape, and run it through my big shot. Sometimes when coloring, whether it's with watercolor or Copic markers, there's bleeding outside the lines. Most of the time I will use water or the colorless blender to push the color back inside the lines, but that usually takes more time and effort than I'm willing to put forth. When I'm feeling lazy, like this time, I just use a white gel pen to cover up the color outside the lines. It's practically invisible and no one will know what happened. It's a great little trick. After I place the coffee cups on the background, I feel like it needs something more bold, so I'm going to stamp and heat emboss the group of 3 solid hearts. This will draw the eye up from the sentiment, across the cups, and towards the hearts. I move the cups and hearts around quite a bit to make sure that I'm satisfied with their position before stamping. I'd hate to have to recreate that background. Since the VersaFine ink was a pigment ink, all I have to do is pour clear embossing powder over top and apply heat to create that raised, shiny texture on the hearts. I'm using a piece of angular patterned paper from Crate Paper's Notes and Things paper pad as a border on the card base. It's mostly neutral but also has some of the colors on the front panel. After the patterned paper layer and the front panel are adhered to the card base, I can pop up the coffee cups with foam tape. I still think that something is missing, and I'll need to create a visual triangle with the sentiment and black hearts. I'm going to use the outline coffee beans on the opposite side. That way the cups are creating a diagonal line, and the hearts and beans are creating another diagonal line. Since the hearts are darker and bolder, the beans need to be lighter and more subtle, which is why I'm using the outline beans instead of the solid beans. It creates a balance of black on the card, so there's not too much everywhere, but different amounts here and there. After stamping that little group of coffee beans, my card is done. Please refer to the supply links below if you're interested in any of the products I used in this video. You can also visit my blog for stills and more information about my card. Thanks so much for watching!